In a Korean bathhouse, a gangster's underling asked the heavily tattooed boss to give him a nightclub so he could run it his own way. The boss laughed in his face and said, "No way!" Then, he splashed water all over the guy's face. A bunch of tough guys surrounded the underling, which made him scared to death. He didn't say a word. Later, the guy called up his close friends, and they went out for drinks. They got super angry and started cursing out the boss. They said he broke his word. The boss promised him a nightclub a year ago if he brought all his guys to Gangnam to work for him. Now the boss is pretending he doesn't know them. G.I. Cheol wanted to get even with the boss, so he had a crazy idea. He found a hitman who had been in prison and asked him to take out the boss. He said if it all went down smoothly, he'd give the hitman 2 nightclubs as a reward. The hitman said, "Okay, deal." G.I. Cheol started making his plans. He made reservations at a remote hotel in the mountains and said he wanted to build up brotherhood. So he brought the boss and all his guys to this restaurant for a big feast and play. At this point, the boss had no idea he was walking right into a trap set by G.I. Cheol. At 3 in the morning, while everyone was sleeping soundly, G.I. Cheol got together with his closest guys and the hitman. Both groups pulled out their weapons and cut off the power to the hotel. Then, they stormed into every room where the gangsters were sleeping. There was blood all over as these guys got beat up. Most of the gangsters were still sleeping, so they had no chance to fight back and were quickly taken down by G.I. Cheol's crew. One guy managed to escape and set off the fire alarm. The boss faced off against G.I. Cheol. They both charged at each other and a big fight broke out. The boss took advantage of the chaos and ran to the lobby to escape, but he was stopped halfway there by the hitman. G.I. Cheol and his guys quickly caught up. The boss had no choice but to put his hands up and surrender. The boss decided to give up Gangnam. G.I. Cheol wanted to stop the hitman from killing the boss, so he ordered his guys to put the boss in cuffs. One of his guys liked the boss's gold watch and tried to take it off and put it on his own wrist. He even kicked the boss and made him roll on the ground. The boss was humiliated, so he grabbed a pair of scissors from the ground and stabbed the guy. The guy died. Blood splattered all over the watch. Seeing his guy die right in front of him, G.I. Cheol got super angry and walked over to stab the boss. After that, G.I. Cheol took over all the boss's power in Gangnam. But to fully control Gangnam, G.I. Cheol went to Busan to find the boss's superior. G.I. Cheol also ordered his guys to ambush the superior at the door, and if anything went wrong, they should kill him. When G.I. Cheol met with the superior, he falsely accused the boss of having ties to gangs in Seoul and wanting to leave the boss's group to join the Seoul gangs. He even had pictures as proof. The superior didn't believe G.I. Cheol. He figured G.I. Cheol had killed the boss and wanted to take his place. He wouldn't let G.I. Cheol get away with killing his man. Then, the superior ordered his guys to take out G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol quickly told the superior that all he wanted was 2 districts in Gangnam. If the superior accepted him into the group, he would send him 50 million won every month. The superior was tempted by such a generous offer and quickly agreed. But he wondered how G.I. Cheol could possibly make that much money. Of course, G.I. Cheol had his own plan. He went to a place filled with red flowers to find Professor Yoon, an old lady who grew flowers. Soon after, G.I. Cheol started selling drugs in the nightclubs he controlled. He was even selling them to Japan. G.I. Cheol's blatant actions drew the attention of the Seoul police. The Japanese police also sent an officer to Korea. The police decided to find a tough officer who could blend in and infiltrate G.I. Cheol's gang to gather evidence of drug smuggling. Chief Do Hyun immediately thought of his friend, Jun Mo. Jun Mo was intelligent and capable, but because his father was a drug addict, Jun Mo, despite his great abilities, wasn't promoted. He was even forced to transfer to a police station in the countryside. Jun Mo was sad, not just because he couldn't advance in his career, but also because his wife's family constantly made fun of him. Jun Mo's wife came from a family of police officers and was promoted and transferred to the security department and even assigned to Seoul. Her family congratulated her, but they couldn't help but tease him for being just a rural cop. This time, his friend Do Hyun came to see him and promised Jun Mo that once the case was solved, he would definitely be promoted. After a night of thinking it over, Jun Mo agreed to go undercover in G.I. Cheol's gang. Do Hyun briefed Jun Mo on the mission. 6 months earlier, the Gangnam boss was killed by G.I. Cheol, and G.I. Cheol had created a new gang. In the last 6 months, his gang grew rapidly in Gangnam. G.I. Cheol was in charge of most of the nightclubs in Gangnam and made a lot of money from something called Gangnam crystals. The main managers of the Gangnam Association were all Jeoksam High School graduates. They had been like brothers since childhood, so they had a strong bond and were like a family. This meant that typical methods wouldn't work to infiltrate them. A member of the Gangnam Association had been stabbed to death by the boss, and that person was G.I. Cheol's closest friend. Jun Mo's mission was to pretend to be that deceased friend's cousin and blend into the Gangnam Association. Secretly, he needed to find evidence of the gang's crimes. Jun Mo took on the mission. He went to the restaurant where the top members of the Gangnam Association usually had dinner for the first time and pretended to be a gangster. He started making trouble. He went up to the boss and demanded to see G.I. Cheol. Immediately, a group of G.I. Cheol's guys came over to teach Junmo a lesson. But Junmo was skilled in combat and the guys were no match for him. Soon, the news reached G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol decided to go to the restaurant to meet the troublemaker. G.I. Cheol sat down across from Junmo and asked why he wanted to see him. Before he could finish his question, G.I. Cheol saw that Junmo was wearing the gold watch that his men had ripped off the boss's wrist before he died. G.I. Cheol was completely shocked for a moment, wondering who this Junmo was. Junmo calmly sat down across from G.I. Cheol and began to talk in detail. Junmo acted like a grieving cousin and kept cursing out G.I. Cheol. Junmo was determined to avenge his cousin at all costs. Seeing Junmo so angry, G.I. Cheol could feel that Junmo would cut the boss into 1,000 pieces if he got the chance. G.I. Cheol handed him a business card and asked Junmo to come to his office another day to talk. As Junmo walked out of the restaurant, a smile appeared on his face. He had successfully attracted G.I. Cheol's attention. G.I. Cheol was a very careful gangster. Of course, G.I. Cheol would investigate the identity of this supposed cousin. He went to the deceased friend's father's house. The father had been drinking a lot since his son's death. He mentioned that the cousin hadn't been around since he joined the fishing fleet, but he had recently returned and asked about his son. The father's words confirmed Junmo's identity as the cousin. Before G.I. Cheol arrived, Do Hyun had gone to greet the father. That was how Junmo was able to quickly pass this round of investigation. G.I. Cheol had established the cousin's identity, and now he was meeting with Junmo in his office. Junmo had just sat down when G.I. Cheol pulled out a bag of money and told Junmo to take the money and leave. He said Junmo shouldn't act so big just because he was a cousin. Junmo pretended to be angry and dumped the money from the bag on the table. He insulted G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol's guys couldn't stand it. They wanted to jump Junmo and teach him a lesson. G.I. Cheol sat on the sofa and watched as Junmo fought with his guys. Junmo was no match for the guys. It was no surprise that he was knocked to the ground. But Junmo fought back. He got back on his feet and immediately started fighting again, knocking out the guys who had hit him. Finally, he punched the guy who had kicked him, knocking him out. If G.I. Cheol hadn't stepped in, that guy would have been dead. Everyone watching was shocked and they swallowed hard. G.I. Cheol walked over to Junmo. He had determined that Junmo hadn't come to cheat him. Junmo mentioned his cousin again and pulled out the watch that his cousin had been wearing. Junmo swore that he would find the boss to avenge his cousin's death. After that convincing performance, Junmo even went to a place near G.I. Cheol's office to hand out wanted posters for the boss. He saw one of G.I. Cheol's guys walking by and tossed the flyer. Then he turned and left. G.I. Cheol's subordinate, who had agreed to send 50 million won every month to the superior, found the remnants of the boss's group and persuaded them to cooperate with him. Every month, G.I. Cheol had to send a lot of money to the superior. If that was the case, then G.I. Cheol must have been making a lot of money. This made G.I. Cheol's subordinate unhappy. G.I. Cheol had become arrogant after making all that money. G.I. Cheol's subordinate had been friends with him for 10 years, but G.I. Cheol treated him like a slave. This made him unhappy, and he wanted the boss's guys to take down G.I. Cheol and take over his business. Seeing the subordinate's determination, the boss's guy was a little more willing. He went to see the superior hoping to get his help, but the superior said that G.I. Cheol had been sending him money on time every month. The superior's friends in Japan were also happy with G.I. Cheol. The Japanese side even said that no one should touch G.I. Cheol. The boss's guy saw that the superior was greedy and promised that if he was allowed to take over G.I. Cheol's territory, he would hand over double the amount of money that G.I. Cheol was paying each month. Hearing this, the superior was no longer willing to protect G.I. Cheol. With the superior's permission, the boss's guy and the subordinate started making their plans. The subordinate took him to a bar where the gang was going to gather for a celebration. The gang was having a party there tonight. That night, G.I. Cheol invited Junmo to his bar for the first time and asked him to join his gang. Before Junmo could say anything, the boss's guys and the others arrived. At first, they hid their weapons under the bar, but they realized that the boss's guys couldn't even see their shadows. And G.I. Cheol's subordinate had locked the door from the outside. The boss's guys simply couldn't leave. Since they had come, their goal was to kill G.I. Cheol. They immediately rushed to attack him. A fierce fight broke out. G.I. Cheol and Junmo were very skilled. They knocked a bunch of guys to the ground. Then the lights came on, and G.I. Cheol's guys surrounded the boss's crew, quickly defeating them. The guys were immediately brought to G.I. Cheol. He ordered his men to break the guy's leg. He also carved a scar on the guy's face. Looking at the bloody scene, Junmo felt a little sick. After the party was over, G.I. Cheol received a call from his superior. He was furious that the superior had allowed the boss's guys to attack him. So, G.I. Cheol told the superior that he was no longer going to send him any money. The superior was furious and ordered someone to go to Seoul to find G.I. Cheol and throw him in the ocean for the fish to eat. But his guys reminded him that he still had to talk to the Japanese side first. After he hung up with the superior, G.I. Cheol explained to Junmo that he had ordered his men to lure the boss's guys there to take them out. Junmo didn't care about that. He only wanted revenge for his cousin. G.I. Cheol took Junmo outside. The sign for the Tae-O Rock Cafe was lit up. G.I. Cheol said his cousin, Junmo, wanted to open a shop there. Now he had fulfilled the dream of his close friend. Since Junmo was his cousin, he wanted him to take over his friend's dream. Then G.I. Cheol walked closer to Junmo and told him that he had killed the boss. And just like that, Junmo successfully joined the gang as the cousin. As a newbie, his daily task was to patrol the streets. Everything was going well when his wife, Yui Jung, contacted him. She wanted to meet at her favorite tteokbokki shop. Junmo couldn't handle keeping this from his wife, so he confessed that he was on a secret mission. As they were talking, G.I. Cheol came to the shop to get something to eat. Junmo was a little flustered and quickly got up, explaining that he was eating with a high school classmate. Yui Jung, G.I. Cheol, and the others were high school classmates. Earlier, G.I. Cheol had heard that Yui Jung was a police officer. This time, he saw Junmo and Yui Jung together, and couldn't help but be suspicious of Junmo. Junmo explained why they were meeting. When he was a kid, his dad was mean to him, so he would often hide at Yui Jung's house. This time, Yui Jung had contacted him to meet because his dad had committed a crime and was arrested. She specifically told him the news. G.I. Cheol believed his explanation and temporarily let it go. Yui Jung was G.I. Cheol's high school friend and his first love. They were inseparable back then, and they both liked the tteokbokki from the shop that G.I. Cheol liked. Listening to their conversation, Junmo felt a bit of heartache. He saw G.I. Cheol in the rearview mirror, playing with the cross necklace around his neck. He had seen the same necklace in his wife's jewelry box. Years ago, G.I. Cheol and Yui Jung were a famous couple in school. Yui Jung had once given G.I. Cheol a necklace as a symbol of their love. Then, before graduation, G.I. Cheol's mother committed a serious crime and was arrested. G.I. Cheol and his sister moved. They had cut off contact since then. Over the years, G.I. Cheol had always cherished the necklace Yui Jung gave him. He was obsessed with his first love. Seeing Yui Jung again, G.I. Cheol was very surprised. But he was more concerned about Junmo, who was close with Yui Jung, a police officer. That night, G.I. Cheol ordered his men to investigate the case files for Junmo's father and Yui Jung's background. An undercover cop at the police station searched for information that night and passed it on to a private investigator hired by G.I. Cheol. The cop was paid handsomely. Soon after, G.I. Cheol read the information. The police confirmed that Junmo's father was on file at the police station. But when he saw the files on Yui Jung and the picture of her husband, he was furious. He immediately went to see Junmo and asked if he knew Yui Jung's husband. Junmo nervously clutched his keys and said he didn't know anything about Yui Jung's husband. When G.I. Cheol directly showed him the picture of Yui Jung's husband and asked if he was more handsome than the guy, Junmo looked at the picture and said that of course G.I. Cheol was more handsome. It turned out that Junmo's coworker had changed his files. The coworkers also found the undercover cop who had sold information to G.I. Cheol and threatened him to do as they said. If not, his leak would be exposed. The cop quickly nodded and agreed. After experiencing this, Junmo believed that G.I. Cheol was very sharp and intelligent. Now he could only do some patrol work outside and couldn't interact with the gang inside. Junmo was ready. That night, a group of masked gangsters stormed into the office building of the company. Junmo was patrolling nearby and saw the gangsters. He knew that G.I. Cheol was in danger, so he rushed forward to save him. He shouted that he was G.I. Cheol to draw the attention of the gangsters. G.I. Cheol took advantage of the moment to pull out a gun to help Junmo. Junmo saw that things were getting out of hand, so he quickly chased away the gangsters. After everything calmed down, G.I. Cheol looked at Junmo, who was injured from saving him and was very moved. He swore he would take out the superior to avenge this. It turned out that G.I. Cheol thought that the attackers were from his superior's people. After the boss was attacked, his close friend suggested assigning key members to stay in the room next to him. But G.I. Cheol asked for the newbie, Junmo, to be his personal bodyguard. Thinking about how Junmo saved him, G.I. Cheol felt very safe. This way, Junmo's plan allowed him to successfully infiltrate the gang and become G.I. Cheol's personal bodyguard. But Junmo didn't expect that his first duty as a bodyguard would be to go with G.I. Cheol to see his mother-in-law. After meeting Yui Jung, G.I. Cheol couldn't stop thinking about her. He would pretend to be Yui Jung's friend and ask about her husband. He thought she should marry a rich guy and live a more comfortable life. Why would she marry a poor rural cop? After saying that, G.I. Cheol wanted to go visit Yui Jung's mother. He knew that she was sick and in the hospital. Junmo took G.I. Cheol to the hospital entrance. but he was worried that everything would be exposed and refused to go with him. He said that Yui Jung's mother probably wouldn't remember him, so he politely declined. G.I. Cheol didn't suspect anything and went to see Yui Jung's mother alone. Yui Jung's mother was talking to a neighbor and learned that G.I. Cheol was a gangster in Gangnam. She tried to persuade him to change his ways and stop doing illegal things. G.I. Cheol explained that he had opened a nightclub and was running a legitimate business. It was just some nasty neighbors who were making things up about him. He managed to convince Yui Jung's mother. Just then, he received a call from the Japanese mob boss. That morning, the superior had intentionally gone to Japan to find out what G.I. Cheol was doing with the Japanese boss. He hoped that the Japanese boss would become his supporter. The boss's subordinate didn't want to say much, but the superior threatened him. He had decided to get rid of G.I. Cheol. Even if the Japanese boss interfered to stop him, it wouldn't help. Soon after, the superior was about to leave Japan, but the boss stopped him. G.I. Cheol knew about this and asked the Japanese boss to help him deal with the superior. The superior immediately died on the Japanese coast. After taking care of the superior, the gang prepared a feast to celebrate. G.I. Cheol went fishing at the beach. Junmo was suspicious. He wondered why G.I. Cheol wasn't bringing his bodyguard along for a fishing trip. He asked a gangster and learned that G.I. Cheol went fishing a few times a month. He would stay out on the sea for a few nights each time. When G.I. Cheol left, the gangsters got together to celebrate. Junmo seized this good opportunity and volunteered to guard the office alone. When everyone left, he cut off the power to the office and locked the door to G.I. Cheol's office to investigate. He took pictures everywhere and found a locked door in the corner. He remembered what G.I. Cheol's subordinate had told him. The office password was G.I. Cheol's birthday. He had been trying different birthdays for the last few days, but none of them were correct. Just as he was about to give up, he suddenly got suspicious and entered his wife's birthday. The door opened. Junmo was so angry. He could only curse G.I. Cheol for being a bastard. Junmo took a lot of pictures, but he didn't find anything special. Junmo found it strange that G.I. Cheol, a person who loves fishing, didn't have any fishing gear in his office. It seemed like he wasn't actually going fishing. Junmo planned to ask G.I. Cheol to take him fishing next time. Meanwhile, G.I. Cheol and his close guys had returned from fishing. While they were putting away their equipment and changing the batteries in their flashlights, one of them accidentally discovered a mark from the Seoul Police Department on the flashlight. G.I. Cheol remembered the night. The flashlight had fallen when the superior's men had fallen. It seemed like those gangsters were not the superior's men, but police officers. But why would the police pretend to be gangsters to assassinate him? This made G.I. Cheol go into deep thought. At that moment, a call came to his subordinate. A man was secretly investigating the origin of Gangnam crystals, and he had seriously injured the man who sold them. The vendor, having no other choice, contacted G.I. Cheol's close friend and asked him to meet the man. On the way, G.I. Cheol approached the group and knocked them unconscious. He took them to a remote beach. Then, G.I. Cheol contacted the hitman and asked him to bring Junmo there. After Junmo arrived, he taught the man a lesson. Junmo watched his close friends brutally treat the man and couldn't stand to watch any longer. He quickly lit a cigarette and forced himself to calm down. Unexpectedly, G.I. Cheol suddenly handed Junmo a gun. He asked him to shoot the man. This way, he could gain G.I. Cheol's trust. Junmo held the gun, his hand trembling as he pointed it at the man. But he couldn't hold back. He fired. The shot missed the man. G.I. Cheol didn't let him off easily, forcing Junmo to fire again. This time, cold sweat dripped down Junmo's forehead. He hesitated for a long time and couldn't fire. Seeing this, the man stood up and ran away. The hitman beside him grabbed Junmo's gun and shot the man, killing him. That night's events made G.I. Cheol suspicious of Junmo's identity. He investigated Junmo's background through the undercover cop. However, Do Hyun had threatened the cop beforehand, so G.I. Cheol only got some unimportant academic information about Junmo. G.I. Cheol's close friend convinced him to pay more attention to Junmo. Junmo met with Yui Jung. He could be an informant for the other side. It could also explain why the police were pretending to be the superior's men to assassinate G.I. Cheol. Junmo appeared at the scene by chance and fought those people. He must have been trying to gain G.I. Cheol's trust to get close to him. While the gangsters were suspicious of Junmo's identity, the police also found the body of the man who had been killed on the riverbank. The superior ordered Do Hyun to hide this for the time being. After Junmo continued his secret investigation to gather enough evidence against the criminal group, they would strike. But now that Junmo's identity was suspected, Do Hyun had to ask Yui Jung to help him contact G.I. Cheol and say something good about Junmo. That night, Yui Jung invited G.I. Cheol out to eat. Without saying a word, G.I. Cheol called Junmo and told him to drive to the restaurant they had agreed on. G.I. Cheol went upstairs to meet Yui Jung alone. They talked for a while happily. G.I. Cheol looked at the familiar restaurant and remembered the days they spent together in high school. He made an excuse to help Yui Jung wipe her mouth and kiss her. He regretted not being able to continue their relationship with her. After dinner, Wee Jung asked Ji-Cheol to take care of Jun-mo. She told him that Jun-mo had suffered a lot as a child. It was a request from the woman he loved, so Ji-Cheol immediately agreed. On the way home, Jun-mo drove while a heavy feeling settled in his heart. He overheard his wife talking to her first love. Ji-Cheol intentionally asked Wee Jung if her husband had come to visit her mother. At the hospital the other day, everyone thought Ji-Cheol was her son-in-law. Wee Jung thought about the instructions from her superior and told Ji-Cheol that she was divorced. Jun-mo, driving, was heartbroken. His anger flared. He returned to the gang, lit a cigarette and forced himself to calm down. That night, Wee Jung received a call from her father. Her mother had died at the hospital. The next morning, Jun-mo was awakened by Ji-Cheol, who told him the sad news. Jun-mo was overwhelmed. He endured his pain and took Ji-Cheol to the funeral home. He was afraid of being recognized, so he found an excuse for Ji-Cheol to go into the funeral home alone. He quietly watched his wife's sad demeanor outside the lobby, his heart aching. After Ji-Cheol offered incense, Wee Jung personally saw him off and thanked him for coming. Jun-mo stood there, dazed, watching his wife talk to her first love. At that moment, Wee Jung's niece ran out and called to him, "Uncle!" Jun-mo was terrified and quickly turned away, worried that the girl would run towards him. At this critical moment, Do-hyun suddenly appeared and took the girl away. Ji-Cheol saw Do-hyun's appearance, which matched the information from his initial investigation, so he no longer had any doubts. Wee Jung introduced her fake ex-husband to Ji-Cheol. The two men greeted each other. Ji-Cheol, with a tone laced with gunpowder, accused Do-hyun of being irresponsible. Before her death, Wee Jung's mother had said that she liked her son-in-law more than her two sons, but he never came to visit her at the hospital. Do-hyun reprimanded Ji-Cheol for meddling in other people's families. Then he turned and left. Ji-Cheol was angry and very unhappy with Do-hyun. Jun-mo could only stand there and watch. After putting Ji-Cheol in the car, Jun-mo said that he wanted to use the bathroom. He quickly wanted to go to the funeral home to pay his respects to his mother-in-law, but the superior stopped him, asking him to focus on this big case and not let anything slip out. Jun-mo was very sad and he fought back tears as he knelt outside the funeral home. His mother-in-law was the only person in his wife's family who loved him. Jun-mo's tears flowed freely. He returned to the organization and went drinking with Ji-Cheol. Ji-Cheol, a little drunk, thought about his mother. At first, his dad would often bully his mother. To escape his cruel father, he ran away with his mother. Unexpectedly, his father found him. His mother, in desperation, killed his father. Jun-mo listened quietly as Ji-Cheol reminisced about the past. Then, he asked Ji-Cheol to help him succeed like him. He didn't want to live like a drug addict's son. He wanted to become a big shot like Ji-Cheol. Ji-Cheol smiled slightly and said he would help Jun-mo with one condition. He had to help him get along with Wee Jung. Jun-mo felt very conflicted. He smiled sadly, scratching his head, hiding his inner anxiety. Finally, he agreed to Ji-Cheol's condition for the sake of the mission. Jun-mo pointed at the picture of Ji-Cheol and his two close friends fishing on the wall and asked Ji-Cheol to invite him along the next time he went fishing. After all, he hadn't gone fishing in a long time. Ji-Cheol simply said that fishing was a hobby for the three of them. If he wanted to go, he would have to wait until next time. Ji-Cheol didn't directly promise Jun-mo anything. Later, the chubby close friend came to see Jun-mo and asked about Ji-Cheol's trip the previous day. Jun-mo lied and said he had accompanied the boss to the place where his cousin's ashes were the day before. The chubby friend then dismissed his suspicions and reminded Jun-mo to tell him about things like this in the future. It seemed that the internal relationships between the three of them were very complicated. After the chubby friend left, the hitman came to see Jun-mo. Jun-mo thanked the hitman for helping him that night. He had long felt that the hitman was unlikely to get to the core of Gangnam and wanted to win him over. The hitman also revealed that the three high-ranking members seemed to have a way to make a lot of money. They also needed to find that way soon. Jun-mo nodded in agreement. Curly Hair, a subordinate of the superior, came to a gangster gang with a lot of money and asked the gang's second-in-command to help him get rid of Ji-Cheol. Then, Curly Hair gave the second-in-command some photos. They were from after Ji-Cheol killed the superior and pretended to be the boss, whom the second-in-command had always respected. The second-in-command was very angry and decided to help destroy Ji-Cheol's Gangnam gang. Soon after, the gang leaders went to see Ji-Cheol's men again and invited them to join their gang. The hitman was also approached and asked to report Ji-Cheol's whereabouts. The hitman quietly looked at the other person without saying a word. The day of fishing arrived quickly. A close friend, whose pregnant wife was sick and had to go to the hospital, could not join the fishing trip. Only Ji-Cheol and the chubby guy went fishing, but they needed at least 3 people to watch the harbor and run errands. The chubby guy suggested that the hitman go along. but G.I. Cheol suggested calling Jun Mo. This time, he could also check to see if Jun Mo had brought any police with him. That evening, G.I. Cheol had Jun Mo switch to a new car, and they went to the harbor. Halfway there, G.I. Cheol received a call from the chubby guy. His car had a flat tire, so he told G.I. Cheol and Jun Mo to go ahead and he would catch up. A few strange cars passed the chubby guy. Soon, those cars surrounded G.I. Cheol's car in front and behind, forcing them to go to an abandoned construction site. A group of the second-in-command's men got out of the cars and charged towards G.I. Cheol's car. The car was stuck in the sand and couldn't move. G.I. Cheol and Jun Mo could only hide in the car, surrounded by the fierce men. At that critical moment, Jun Mo grabbed the gun that G.I. Cheol had hidden in the car, aimed it at a man who was holding a knife to G.I. Cheol's neck, and sent him to hell. The two sides clashed. G.I. Cheol reached into the car, his hands trembling as he pulled out a pistol. This ambush filled him with suspicion. How could this be such a coincidence? Two of his most trusted guys. One was his pregnant wife, who was absent from today's fishing trip. The other one unexpectedly had a flat tire on the way to the fishing trip. This made G.I. Cheol confused. After he loaded his gun and pointed it at the gangsters surrounding them, Jun Mo stood in front of him, only to be struck by curly hair from behind. G.I. Cheol saved Jun Mo and fired back. The hitman watched the battle from a distance. Those gang leaders had gone to the bathhouse to find him. The hitman's response was, "Do I look like the kind of scumbag who stabbed someone in the back?" Seeing his opportunity, the hitman drove towards G.I. Cheol and eliminated the remaining gangsters. Then, he covered G.I. Cheol and Jun Mo as they got into the car. He drove them to the hospital. Fortunately, Jun Mo's injuries were not life-threatening. After surgery, his life was saved. G.I. Cheol then began investigating who had revealed his route to the second-in-command's gang. The hitman, who had done him a favor, earned G.I. Cheol's trust. He sent the hitman to investigate this. The hitman started looking into a few people involved. First, the chubby guy. His tire seemed to have been punctured abnormally. Then, he visited the guy whose wife was pregnant and saw his wife holding the baby in her arms. This proved that he wasn't lying. Jun Mo woke up soon after. After this incident, G.I. Cheol completely trusted him. Jun Mo seized the opportunity and asked G.I. Cheol about the actual fishing trip. G.I. Cheol didn't answer, but he told Jun Mo that he would find out in the future. The hitman returned. He hadn't found anything suspicious. After some thought, G.I. Cheol guessed who the traitor was. He ordered the hitman to call everyone back to Seoul. He wanted to punish the traitor in front of everyone. Jun Mo's body gradually recovered. When he was discharged from the hospital, G.I. Cheol specifically found a spacious car so that he could lie down during the entire trip back. During a break, everyone went to the bathroom. Do-hyun, who was always following behind the car, snuck up to the car and met with Jun Mo. Based on G.I. Cheol's evasive behavior, Jun Mo had guessed that G.I. Cheol was selling drugs while he was fishing. That night, G.I. Cheol was also going to hunt down the traitor in the organization. Jun Mo was going to do everything he could to stop him from killing anyone. That night, everyone gathered at the office. G.I. Cheol looked around and asked everyone present who wasn't there for the meeting today was a traitor. They were a little scared of being killed, since they had been contacted by the second-in-command's gang. Everyone realized that the blonde guy wasn't there. G.I. Cheol immediately had the hitman catch the traitor. The blonde guy was quickly caught. He didn't have any explanation. G.I. Cheol decided to let the hitman deal with him. Jun Mo couldn't stand it. As the hitman prepared to do it, he picked up a stick and hit the blonde guy hard. Jun Mo had let out his anger. The blonde guy's betrayal of him had been dealt with. Since the victim, Jun Mo, had said this, G.I. Cheol would not continue. He decided to let the blonde guy go and warned him that if he saw him again, he would have no chance of surviving. After taking care of the traitor, G.I. Cheol called his two subordinates. Jun Mo and the hitman were also called. 2 days later, a merchant from overseas would arrive in Korea. G.I. Cheol had broken the agreement with them. He ordered the chubby guy to prepare a gift to appease the merchant. Although he had determined that the blonde guy was a traitor, something caught G.I. Cheol's attention. The blonde guy knew that G.I. Cheol was going fishing, but he didn't know his exact route. That day, only the chubby guy was driving behind him, so he was the most suspicious. The hitman said he thought so too. G.I. Cheol told the hitman to keep investigating to see if the chubby guy had any suspicions. Then he took out a pair of sunglasses and gave them to the hitman. The hitman was happy with the current situation. If everything went smoothly, he and Do Mo would get rid of G.I. Cheol's two elders and become his most trusted subordinates. The hitman pretended to be a cop and went to a hospital room, where Curly was injured by a gunshot. He asked him why he knew G.I. Cheol would go that way that day. Was it because the chubby guy told him? The guy shook his head. Then the hitman took off his hat, revealing his true face and killed Curly hair. Afterward, the hitman called G.I. Cheol to report that Curly was dead, as requested. He also confirmed that his two brothers had no suspicions. That night, Jun Mo snuck back home to see his wife. They hadn't seen each other in a long time. Yui Zhang stepped forward and embraced her husband. She heard that Junmo was injured and had been worried for days. Yui Zhang personally cooked a meal at home for Junmo. After seeing his wife, Junmo returned to the organization. The police had found out that a foreign businessman was indeed coming to Korea. The police had Yui Zhang call Ji Chiol and ask him to meet on the day the businessman arrived. After some thought, Ji Chiol agreed to meet. The task of meeting the businessman was given to Junmo. Normally, Ji Chiol was a ruthless underworld boss, but when it came to Yui Zhang, he instantly transformed into a man overflowing with love. He even had thoughts of marrying Yui Zhang. Junmo didn't expect to be the one picking up the businessman. He needed to confirm if the foreign guest was Professor Yoon as they expected. Junmo arrived at Incheon Port and saw a woman wearing sunglasses come to greet him. She was clearly not Professor Yoon. After taking the guest back to the hotel, Junmo met Do Hyun and told him that he hadn't found any useful information on the way. Junmo wondered why Do Hyun was following him, as Do Hyun's task was to watch Ji Chiol. Do Hyun told Junmo the truth. Ji Chiol was with Yui Zhang. Hearing this, Junmo was unhappy because the police had let Yui Zhang get involved. He worried that Ji Chiol would get too close to his wife. And that was exactly what happened. They went to church together. Ji Chiol took Yui Zhang's hand, and Yui Zhang didn't refuse. As long as it could help Junmo, she was willing to sacrifice a little. Junmo angrily stepped out of the car and walked back to the hotel, accidentally bumping into the man accompanying the woman in sunglasses. He noticed a black box on the ground that seemed suspicious. The two of them looked at Junmo cautiously. Junmo apologized and continued walking towards the hotel. Ji Chiol wanted to see his beloved, so he assigned the welcoming duty to Junmo. Afterward, the two went to a high-end restaurant for lunch. Yui Zhang wanted to find out some inside information, but Ji Chiol carefully avoided revealing his profession. He was lost in memories and wanted to fulfill a promise he made when he was younger. Then he gave Yui Zhang a napkin on which a drawing of Yui Zhang's face was sketched. Yui Zhang's memories were awakened. Back then, she was sitting in the back seat of Ji Chiol's bicycle. They talked about their dreams for the future. Ji Chiol wanted to become the owner of a restaurant next to a coffee shop and bar. When he earned enough money, no one would look down on him anymore. Yui Zhang listened to her lover talk about his dreams and said he was the king of darkness. Ji Chiol liked this title. He'd definitely marry Yui Zhang after he became king. This was his promise to Yui Zhang. Their meeting ended. Ji Chiol went to the hotel where the foreign businesswoman was staying. Ji Chiol gave a bag of $US and a watch to compensate for the failed transaction and to soothe the businesswoman's anger. But the businesswoman had lost faith in Ji Chiol. Besides, 2 people from Japan were also involved in this deal. Ji Chiol's deal had failed, and the Japanese side also sent people. They hoped that all 3 parties would sit down and discuss this deal in more detail. Seeing that the businesswoman had no intention of talking to him, Ji Chiol stepped forward and stopped her. He was the middleman. After receiving the goods, they would be handed over to Japan. This time he wanted to increase the volume of the transaction and he would pay extra. As he said this, Ji Chiol handed over the bag of money. The businesswoman took it and turned to leave. The next day, the Japanese side arrived. Ji Chiol went to the hotel again with Junmo. Do Hyun and the others, having received the information, set up an ambush in the hotel. The camera surveillance room was also under police control. Do Hyun observed the situation outside the hotel. Junmo was also ready to place the listening device that Do Hyun attached to his ankle. Unexpectedly, the Japanese were very thorough. Before entering the hotel room for the meeting, everyone had to be searched by the bodyguards. When Junmo reached the door of the room, he knew he would be searched, but he couldn't leave halfway through. The bodyguard touched Junmo's upper body, not even sparing the cigarettes and lighter in his pocket. Then the bodyguard bent down, his hand getting closer and closer to the location of the listening device. Junmo immediately yelled to stop touching it, like a physiological reaction. Do Hyun realized that Junmo was in danger. He contacted the men ambushing in the hotel surveillance room to activate the fire alarm. When the fire alarm sounded, Junmo quickly turned and left the scene, claiming that he was going to check on the situation. He quickly went to the stairs and wanted to throw away the listening device. Suddenly, a plan appeared in his head. The listening device was placed in the cigarette pack that had been checked before. The bodyguard cooperated and didn't check it again. Instead, he continued to touch Junmo's pant leg. Therefore, Junmo entered the room safely. Junmo and the other bodyguards waited in the next room. To prevent them from eavesdropping, the Japanese played music in the bodyguard room. On Do Hyun's side, except for the sound of the music, nothing else could be heard. The reason for the Japanese's carefulness was because they had become the target of the Japanese police. The Japanese boss was very cautious. He did not attend the negotiations. Instead, he ordered his people to meet them. His subordinate asked about the failure of the Ji Chiol deal and wanted to know who the mole inside his organization was. Had he participated in this and was he aware of their dealings? G.I. Cheol answered one by one. The mole had been found, and he had not participated in this matter. G.I. Cheol's answer did not dispel the Japanese side's suspicions. He was worried that G.I. Cheol would be targeted by the police. Therefore, the Japanese representative asked G.I. Cheol to stand downstairs for 5 minutes with the bag he was carrying, pretending to wait for a jade merchant. His subordinate would watch from upstairs if there were any police officers around him who were following him. To continue the cooperation, G.I. Cheol could only agree to go downstairs with a bag. The police in the hotel ambush thought that G.I. Cheol was waiting for the drug dealer to arrive and wanted to arrest him. Fortunately, Do Hyun calmly ordered them not to act rashly. After G.I. Cheol left, the Japanese representative took out his phone and let the Japanese boss talk directly to the businesswoman. For a long time, it was G.I. Cheol who was fetching the goods from the businesswoman, then handing them over to the Japanese boss. Now, the boss was about to rule the entire Yakuza group, so he had been hiding behind the scenes, letting G.I. Cheol be the middleman. But he was still being watched by the Japanese police, so the boss decided to give up on G.I. Cheol and find other Koreans to connect with. As long as the businesswoman agreed, he would give her extra money. Time ran out. G.I. Cheol returned to the room. Unexpectedly, a policeman suddenly went to the room where the three of them were meeting. Before, when they were at the beach, G.I. Cheol had ordered Junmo to kill a man, but Junmo had not done so. In the end, it was the assassin who had done it. This policeman was investigating the case. On the way, he saw G.I. Cheol's organization and followed them without letting go. Seeing G.I. Cheol go to the hotel, he wanted to see what G.I. Cheol was doing here. Seeing the policeman arrive, Junmo reported to the three people in the room and went forward to stop the policeman so that G.I. Cheol and the others could leave the room. The policeman was blocked and started fighting with Junmo, the one who obstructed him. Do Hyun heard that Junmo was in danger and sent 2 colleagues to catch the troublesome policeman. Junmo took the opportunity to leave. The policeman had a volatile temper. He angrily threw his wallet on the ground to prove his identity. Do Hyun was a little confused. He really didn't understand how the policeman suddenly appeared. The policeman chased after Junmo, who had left. Luckily, the businesswoman's bodyguard was waiting. Junmo managed to shake off the policeman and reach the businesswoman's room. The businesswoman was a little confused. The three of them were just talking, not committing any crime, so there was no need to hide anything. Instead, leaving the room would make the police suspicious. Junmo explained that the policeman had harassed G.I. Cheol. If he paid attention to the businesswoman, she would inevitably be investigated further. After all, the businesswoman's passport was also fake. Junmo's explanation was reasonable. The businesswoman stopped questioning and turned back to chat with G.I. Cheol about business. G.I. Cheol's failure had made the businesswoman lose trust in him. Earlier, to stop the policeman, Junmo had fought with the other side, which would also cause trouble. The businesswoman wanted to assess the situation before deciding whether to continue working with them. She called the Japanese boss's subordinate, hoping that he would give her a few days to think about it. She couldn't make a decision right away. The subordinate immediately reported to the Japanese boss. The boss ordered that no matter what the businesswoman's decision was, he wanted to suspend the deal. Today's meeting had been disrupted by the police. The boss wanted to wait until things calmed down before starting a new deal. The Japanese boss was clearly threatening the businesswoman if she cooperated with G.I. Cheol, so she didn't say much and turned to go upstairs. She had a good impression of Junmo's loyalty and teased him that assaulting a policeman could land him in jail. Junmo replied that he would see her again with gray hair. The businesswoman appreciated Junmo, so she wanted him to be her Korean tour guide. Leaving the hotel, G.I. Cheol began to think about how to deal with the policeman's problem. Junmo was willing to turn himself in for assaulting a policeman. G.I. Cheol was considered a sentimental man and did not want to let Junmo go to jail. Junmo took out a cigarette and stated his condition. If he solved this problem this time, then let him go with him on business trips to Japan and China. As he finished speaking, Junmo turned around and turned himself in at the police station. The policeman could see at a glance and guessed that Junmo was taking the blame for G.I. Cheol. He asked Junmo the identities of the people in the hotel room. Junmo would definitely not tell the truth. Instead, he mocked what the policeman had done as a rogue. It was no different from those in the underworld. The policeman was so angry that he kicked Junmo and punched him in the face. Luckily, his colleague quickly stopped the policeman. Junmo lay on the ground, resting with a bloody face. Soon after, the policeman continued to interrogate him. Seeing that Junmo remained stubbornly silent, the policeman was about to strike again. The police chief, accompanied by the chief prosecutor, arrived just in time and ordered him to stop. It turned out that the head of the inspection team knew Junmo's true identity and had come to help Junmo. He accused the policeman of beating up civilians. The police chief repeatedly gestured for the policeman to apologize. The policeman was forced by the situation and finally bowed his head in apology. It didn't take long for the hitman to take Junmo out of the police station. Junmo had signed an agreement not to prosecute the police for beating him up. In return, He was also acquitted. The hitman congratulated him on returning safely. He curiously asked Junmo what kind of business G.I. Cheol was talking about in the hotel. Junmo didn't tell the truth and took the opportunity to separate the hitman from the trio of superiors. He promised to help the hitman get rid of one of them so he could take the opportunity to move up. At that time, the two of them would make a lot of money together. Back in the office, G.I. Cheol cleared Junmo's name and thanked him for taking the blame for everyone. But the chubby guy next to him was full of suspicion about Junmo. Earlier, he had seen Do Hyun wearing a headset outside the hotel, which seemed suspicious. It was very likely that he was a police officer who had been following Junmo. Now, Junmo had coincidentally encountered the chief prosecutor inspecting the police station and had escaped safely. Every time Junmo went on a mission, he attracted the police, which made the chubby guy suspicious of Junmo's identity. G.I. Cheol was very unhappy with the chubby guy's attitude. He warned him that there had been quite a few loopholes in the company's ledger lately. As a close subordinate, the chubby guy was in charge of accounting, so he was very meticulous. The chubby guy angrily left. G.I. Cheol turned back to comfort Junmo and suggested that Junmo and the businesswoman talk directly about business. The other side seemed to like Junmo. Junmo took on the task and reported to Do Hyun and the chief prosecutor. Now everything was ready, just waiting to arrest them at the scene of the transaction along with evidence. But now the transaction couldn't be carried out. Junmo suggested that he would go and talk to the businesswoman, facilitating the deal. At the same time, he asked Do Hyun and the chief prosecutor to help him deal with the chubby guy. He was the one who suspected him the most. As Junmo focused on his career, Wee Jung made an appointment with G.I. Cheol. She could see that G.I. Cheol was troubled, so she wanted to help him solve the problem. G.I. Cheol was very moved. She asked Wee Jung how she coped with the pain of missing her mother ever since her mother passed away. Wee Jung's eyes turned red. She just let herself sink into sadness. G.I. Cheol's heart ached. He went to his mother's house so that his mother could cook him a meal. Junmo asked to see the businesswoman. He had dealt with his own matters with the police, so he could be her tour guide according to the agreement. The businesswoman took Junmo to a restaurant for dinner. She was very impressed by his defeat of the policeman for G.I. Cheol's sake. Looking at the businesswoman's grateful expression, Junmo took the opportunity to ask her to continue the transaction with G.I. Cheol, but the other side's face was full of mockery. She said that she no longer trusted G.I. Cheol. It turned out that last night, the businesswoman's bodyguard investigated how Gangnam would sell the goods. The bodyguard went to the cafe that the chubby guy had investigated to buy drugs. The businesswoman found out that Gangnam's crystals were being sold here. This proved that G.I. Cheol had kept the goods that should have been transferred to Japan to sell in Korea. This made them lose trust in G.I. Cheol. Junmo always spoke well of G.I. Cheol and asked the businesswoman to let him help deliver the goods to Japan. He would also inform G.I. Cheol beforehand and ask for the other side's agreement. The businesswoman asked Junmo what his difference was compared to G.I. Cheol. Junmo immediately said that the difference was that if she worked with him, she could spend more time with him. The businesswoman smiled. She still thought money was more important than men. After the businesswoman left, Junmo contacted Do Hyun and asked him to stop G.I. Cheol from selling the goods in Korea. Take this opportunity to go to the cafe managed by the chubby guy and eliminate him first. The chubby guy was taken to the police station. The police told him to sit still and not move. Soon after, the police brought their force to the nightclub to check. Several drug dealers were arrested. At the same time, a celebrity and some beauties were found in the nightclub's secret room. The celebrity was taken to the police station. He asked the police who had revealed his location. The police truthfully told him it was the cafe owner, the chubby guy, who was in the room next door. As soon as the chubby guy returned to his office, he was grabbed by the neck by the celebrity and scolded, accusing him of betraying him. G.I. Cheol initially suspected that the chubby guy, while at the police station, had leaked information to the police about the crystal sales in the nightclub. This led the police to check the nightclubs. At this moment, the celebrity's words further confirmed his speculation. G.I. Cheol chased the crowd out to question the chubby guy. At this point, this guy could not argue anymore. He kept emphasizing that he hadn't said anything, and that he was always loyal to G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol sneered and threw the ledger out. Inside was evidence that the chubby guy had been selling drugs in the nightclub. It turned out that the chubby guy had been deceiving G.I. Cheol behind his back, selling the goods that should have been sent to Japan. The chubby guy had pocketed all the money he earned. G.I. Cheol let the chubby guy leave with all his money. The chubby guy looked at the photo of the four of them, his heart aching. They had been friends for 20 years, but because of this, they had to part ways. He advised G.I. Cheol to be sober, that the one who should be driven away was Junmo. Since Junmo had arrived, accidents had happened one after another in the gang. G.I. Cheol was also enchanted by the policewoman Wee Jung. After saying this, the chubby guy left angrily. The hitman looked at the chubby guy's back and repeated what Junmo had said before, either insert yourself or push someone out. The hitman followed the chubby guy into the elevator and mocked the chubby guy, saying that he always wanted to take the easy way, which was why he was so fat. The chubby guy angrily stepped on the hitman's foot. The two of them scuffled. The hitman's martial arts skills were very strong. In just 2 or 3 moves, he sent the chubby guy flying to the ground. The hitman warned the chubby guy never to set foot in this neighborhood again, or he would make him suffer hell. As for G.I. Cheol, he also didn't listen to the chubby guy's advice. He made an appointment with Yui Zhang to go to church. He had asked his mother to pray for Yui Zhang's mother at church. This time, Yui Zhang was specially called to join the prayer. After the prayer was over, some of Yui Zhang's acquaintances in the church gathered around her to chat. An acquaintance said that she was living with Yui Zhang's mother and had been attending church for over 20 years. Hearing this, G.I. Cheol was shocked. He immediately called a private investigator. The chubby guy had once entrusted the investigator to investigate Yui Zhang in detail, to see if she had ever lived in Gangwon, and if she had gone to the same school as Jun Mo. Hearing the aunt's words just now, G.I. Cheol found out that Yui Zhang's family had lived in Seoul. It seemed that Yui Zhang had lied to him. G.I. Cheol asked the investigator to immediately investigate Yui Zhang in detail. The private investigator contacted someone inside the police station and asked him to investigate Yui Zhang. The person in the police station lied that his power was insufficient. The investigator had to go to the Retired Police Association to investigate. The person inside the police station hurriedly told the chief prosecutor about this. Jun Mo heard this and knew something was wrong, so he drove quickly to the police association. Meanwhile, the investigator obtained Yi Young's file from the Retired Police Association. He discovered that Yui Zhang's family had never lived in Gangwon. The investigator was about to call G.I. Cheol to report when he was stopped by Jun Mo. Jun Mo took the investigator to the rooftop and demanded the documents in the investigator's hands. The investigator pointed out that Jun Mo was Yui Zhang's husband and would surely tell G.I. Cheol about this. Jun Mo wanted to persuade the investigator to cooperate with him, but the investigator refused. He turned to leave, and Jun Mo chased after him. The investigator was scared and tried to jump onto the roof of the building opposite, but he tripped over the power cord under his feet. He fell to the ground. Jun Mo rushed to the investigator, snatched the documents from his hands, and hung up G.I. Cheol's incoming call. Faced with the investigator's pleas for help, Jun Mo took the documents and the other person's mobile phone and left in a hurry. As soon as Jun Mo left, the policeman received news that the investigator who was working for the Gangnam Association had suddenly died. The policeman went to the scene and picked up a lighter from the ground. The investigator was dead. Jun Mo was heartbroken. Do Hyun and the chief prosecutor comforted Jun Mo. It was not his fault. The secret mission was about to succeed. They just needed to be patient for a while longer. Jun Mo also wanted to end his secret career as soon as possible. He went directly to the organization. He was eager to meet the businesswoman the next day to make a deal. At this moment, G.I. Cheol had heard the news of the investigator's death. He looked at Jun Mo's worried eyes and thought that the investigator had investigated Yui Zhang in detail along with Jun Mo before he died. But he had died suddenly, which made G.I. Cheol suspicious of Jun Mo's identity. Waiting for Jun Mo to leave, he called one of his subordinates and asked him to investigate where the investigator died. As soon as he hung up, Yui Zhang suddenly called and wanted to meet him the next day. It turned out that Yui Zhang had heard from Do Hyun. Jun Mo might be suspected by G.I. Cheol because the investigator was dead. Yui Zhang wanted to help Jun Mo dispel any doubts about him. After that, Yui Zhang went to G.I. Cheol's office. At this moment, Jun Mo was also on a date with the businesswoman. They met by chance, and the atmosphere was extremely awkward. G.I. Cheol whispered to Yui Zhang that the businesswoman liked Jun Mo. Today was their first date. Yui Zhang was full of jealousy in her heart, but she didn't show it in front of G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol took Yui Zhang to visit his office. When Yui Zhang sat down, G.I. Cheol took the opportunity to take out a gun hidden in the box and a necklace. When everything was ready, G.I. Cheol took Yui Zhang away. They went to a demolition area. G.I. Cheol told Yui Zhang that he had been working very hard to get land development rights, and he was about to sign a contract. His dream was not just in a corner of Gangnam. In the future, he wanted Yui Zhang to be by his side and witness the day when this area went from wasteland to bustling. Hearing G.I. Cheol's confession, Yui Zhang could only avoid him. After his confession, G.I. Cheol didn't want to play hide and seek with Yui Zhang anymore. He directly asked Yui Zhang if she had never lived in Gangwon. He had heard Jun Mo say that they were elementary school classmates when they were in Gangwon, but the aunt from the church in Seoul said she had seen Yui Zhang attending elementary school. Yui Zhang had to explain that Jun Mo had gotten it wrong. She had moved from Gangwon to Seoul midway through elementary school. As G.I. Cheol was about to ask for details, a subordinate called. He had investigated where the investigator died, and it was near the Retired Police Officers Association. When the investigator died, his mobile phone mysteriously disappeared. The Retired Police Association had the records of Yui Zhang's police father, and he read them to G.I. Cheol. After hearing this, Ji Aichiol went to Yu Zhang and told her to turn her back to him. Yui Zhang was very worried, her hand trembling as she gripped the pistol in her pocket. Immediately, Ji Aichiol put the necklace on Yui Zhang. After hearing what his subordinate had just said, he no longer suspected Yui Zhang. It turned out that Du Hyun had changed the file related to Jun Mo beforehand. This dispelled Ji Aichiol's doubts. The businesswoman and Jun Mo also went to the nearby dilapidated residential area for a look. She wanted to invest in land, so she came here on purpose. Unexpectedly, it was so poor and backward. Jun Mo said that he had also lived in this place when he was young. The businesswoman, who liked Jun Mo, was curious about his childhood. She wanted to learn about Jun Mo's past. Then Jun Mo took her to make candy. If she could use a needle to poke patterns along the candy line, she would get a free piece of candy. The businesswoman completed the challenge with great interest, happily took a bite of the candy, and gave the remaining half to Jun Mo. After eating the cake, Jun Mo took her to the arcade. After playing for a while, the businesswoman knew that Jun Mo was loyal and fearless. Finally, she was ready to introduce Jun Mo to her father. This time she agreed to work with the organization, but the cooperation target was no longer Ji Aichiol, but Jun Mo because she liked him. The businesswoman's father learned about his daughter's thoughts and readily agreed. He also didn't want to cooperate with Ji Aichiol, who had betrayed him. At the same time, the father told the bodyguard to remember to protect the businesswoman and not let her get close to Ji Aichiol's office. It turned out that the father knew that the second-in-command leader's gang had cooperated with the Japanese side. They were about to attack Ji Aichiol's gang tonight. At this time, Ji Aichiol was hopelessly in love. Yui Zhang also confessed that she had checked Ji Aichiol's case files and knew he had been involved in the case of a gang boss. But she didn't care because she trusted Ji Aichiol. Yui Zhang also hoped that Ji Aichiol would completely trust her. She would provide him with all the information she obtained from the police station. After saying that, Yui Zhang took Ji Aichiol's hand and told him to believe her because she loved him. After hearing Yui Zhang's confession, Ji Aichiol directly kissed Yui Zhang. Ji Aichiol was lost in the kiss, not noticing Yui Zhang's clenched fist. Back at the office, Ji Aichiol introduced Yui Zhang to his subordinates. This was his future wife. The subordinates immediately bowed to their future sister-in-law. The hitmen and the close subordinates were discontent in their hearts. They didn't understand why their boss was no longer focused on rebuilding the gangs and the fact that the Japanese were cooperating with the second-in-command leader's gang. Instead, he was introducing a policewoman as his wife. Ji Aichiol, who was in love, was determined to follow his own path and asked the two to mind their own business. After saying that, he chased the two away to be alone with Yui Zhang. Ji Aichiol expressed his love for Yui Zhang. He began to regret everything he had done in the past. When Yui Zhang confessed her feelings, Ji Aichiol wanted to become a good man. Therefore, Ji Aichiol asked for Yui Zhang's help. Yui Zhang didn't know how to answer. Meanwhile, Jun Mo had successfully partnered with the businesswoman. She took the opportunity to ask Jun Mo to sleep with her. Seeing Jun Mo hesitate, she immediately said that the deal was off. Jun Mo had no choice but to passionately kiss the businesswoman. As they kissed passionately, Jun Mo's mind was filled with images of Yui Zhang. Just as the businesswoman was about to make her next move, the bodyguard opened the door. Her father had chosen to cooperate with the second-in-command leader's gang. Tonight, the second-in-command leader would attack Ji Aichiol. The businesswoman thought for a moment. She didn't think it was bad. If Ji Aichiol died, Jun Mo could seize the opportunity to take over. After Jun Mo learned about this, he hurriedly called Yui Zhang. At this time, Yui Zhang was on a date with Ji Aichiol and couldn't hear Jun Mo's call. The gang members were eating in the office when the second-in-command leader's gang came to attack, taking everyone by surprise. The two gangs quickly fought each other. Ji Aichiol heard the commotion outside, hurriedly took Yui Zhang to safety. He grabbed his gun and rushed out. Both sides fought together. The walls around them were splattered with blood. There were countless dead and injured people on the ground. At this time, Jun Mo arrived and began to attack. He saw Yui Zhang not far away. The couple stopped in their tracks and stared at each other. Jun Mo picked up a machete on the ground, dealt with the enemies along the way, and moved towards Yui Zhang. But she was being dragged away by someone holding her from behind. Seeing his wife, his lover, in danger, Jun Mo and Ji Aichiol both lost their minds. Ji Aichiol took the lead and rushed to Yui Zhang's side. Yui Zhang got up, and her eyes moved to Jun Mo's. She saw firsthand that Jun Mo was killing people with bloodshot eyes. Without paying attention, Yui Zhang was attacked again. Luckily, Ji Aichiol arrived in time to deal with the enemy. He picked up a silk scarf from the ground and used it to bandage Yui Zhang's wounded hand. Yui Zhang stood up straight, completely forgetting the pain in her hand. She looked at Jun Mo outside the window, her face full of astonishment. He was dealing with the enemy with a knife. The businesswoman came to Ji Aichiol's office. She was confused as to why Jun Mo would go so far. Jun Mo's answer was very profound. There was someone he wanted to protect. At this time, the Japanese boss's subordinate was waiting for news from the second-in-command leader's men, who were reporting good news. Unexpectedly, G.I. Cheol brought his brothers to get revenge. As soon as Junmo entered the door, he pushed the second-in-command leader onto the table. G.I. Cheol talked to the Japanese side and told his subordinate to tell the boss to come to Korea to apologize to him for today's events if he still wanted to import goods. Finally, everything was settled. Yui Jung returned home and looked at the photo of herself with Junmo. She remembered that when they were colleagues, Junmo had heard that she was being transferred to Seoul and was worried that she would be pursued by other boys. So he had confessed to Yui Jung while on duty. As he finished speaking, he took out the pair of rings. Yui Jung had been waiting for this day for a long time and took the initiative to kiss Junmo. It didn't take long for the two of them to get married. As the ceremony was taking place, Junmo's father came to cause trouble at the door. He wanted money to buy drugs. Junmo immediately took out some of the gift money and gave it to his father, asking him to leave quickly. A beautiful wedding was disrupted by his father. Therefore, all the guests present knew that Junmo had an addict father. Junmo and G.I. Cheol went to the clinic they frequented. Neither of them could stop thinking about Yui Jung. Junmo was worried that Yui Jung would be scared and also hoped she would not participate in this investigation anymore. Junmo promised to end his secret actions as soon as possible and return to her. Yui Jung didn't answer. She hung up the phone. After bandaging, G.I. Cheol took Junmo home to rest for the night. Recalling the scene just now, G.I. Cheol couldn't swallow this. What he cared most about was that Yui Jung had almost died. Mentioning Yui Jung, G.I. Cheol announced to Junmo, "She's yours." Then the four of them sat down to discuss the attack last night. G.I. Cheol vowed to make the Japanese boss apologize to everyone. Junmo was worried about provoking the other side and not being able to make a deal, so he didn't approve of G.I. Cheol's tough attitude. They currently needed the Japanese to sell all their goods. Otherwise, they wouldn't have money to pay for the goods, and they would be stuck in storage. At that time, they would most likely run into trouble. At this moment, the policeman who had caused them trouble came to visit and question them about the investigator's death. He had found out that the last person to speak to the investigator was G.I. Cheol, so he concluded that this matter was related to G.I. Cheol. As he said this, he also took out a lighter that he had picked up at the scene of the investigator's death and said it belonged to G.I. Cheol. G.I. Cheol calmly took out the lighter to prove the policeman's deduction wrong. The policeman mentioned the investigator's missing mobile phone. G.I. Cheol, with an indifferent expression, asked the policeman to ask the lighter's owner. He had absolutely no idea about that. The policeman left the office and encountered Junmo sitting at the top of the stairs. He wanted to trick him. The policeman threw the lighter to Junmo and said it was something he had dropped at the police station. Junmo caught the lighter and looked at it, then said it wasn't his. Junmo's response time was a little slow, so the policeman began to suspect him and guessed that the lighter belonged to Junmo. He asked Junmo where the investigator's phone was. Junmo pretended not to understand. The policeman reminded him that he wanted to arrest the big fish, G.I. Cheol. If Junmo helped him, he would keep the secret from G.I. Cheol that the investigator had been killed by Junmo. After chasing the policeman away, Junmo went to find the Japanese subordinate and bowed his head to apologize to him. Seeing that Junmo was quite intelligent, the Japanese representative agreed to let him take him to the airport. On the way, Junmo assured them that they would double the supply of goods to the Japanese side and the price would remain the same. This was just to make up for the losses that could not be traded during this period. Junmo's words were indeed appealing, and the Japanese subordinate once again arranged a negotiation with G.I. Cheol. As for the content of this negotiation, G.I. Cheol didn't tell Junmo. It didn't take long for the Japanese boss to go to Korea to negotiate directly with G.I. Cheol. The boss demanded that G.I. Cheol's side double the amount of goods and keep the price the same. G.I. Cheol's tone was very tough. He demanded that the Japanese boss apologize first before they could continue negotiating. The two of them couldn't negotiate. The boss left angrily. The deal fell through. The close subordinates were worried that if they didn't cooperate with the Japanese, they wouldn't be able to deal with the goods. G.I. Cheol didn't say much. He got up and left the office. What Junmo had been worried about happened. He was even afraid that the deal wouldn't go through and he wouldn't be able to solve the case sooner to escape his secret identity. So Junmo had another plan. He went to the businesswoman and suggested that the two of them take the lead to negotiate without depending on anyone else. Seeing Junmo's serious expression, the businesswoman pondered his words. The next day, Junmo and the businesswoman went to see the Japanese boss. They apologized for the boss's behavior and wanted to continue cooperating between the two sides. After the apology was over, Junmo explained his intention. He was willing to cooperate directly with the boss to supply him with goods. And in this agreement, the businesswoman would be the link for transporting goods to Korea. Currently, they didn't have a way to ship goods directly to Japan. Since Junmo was showing favor to the boss, he needed to accept being his son and perform the Japanese hand-cutting ceremony. As he finished speaking, the bodyguard took out a weapon, ready to attack Junmo's finger. The bodyguard's hand moved, but it wasn't Junmo who was injured, but the Japanese boss. It turned out that the boss's representative, when negotiating with G.I. Cheol, had shown favoritism towards G.I. Cheol. He was willing to become friends with G.I. Cheol and build a long-term relationship. But G.I. Cheol was suspicious and told the representative that he had to deal with the boss to prove his sincerity. After the boss's death, G.I. Cheol appeared. The Japanese representative had gained G.I. Cheol's trust with his actions, so he was willing to continue cooperating with the Japanese side. Witnessing this scene, Junmo and the businesswoman realized that they had become G.I. Cheol's pawns. The head of the Japanese organization had been killed. The boss's representative had ascended to become G.I. Cheol's new partner. The difficulties in his career had also been solved. The big stone in his heart finally fell. G.I. Cheol began to make his own plans. He was waiting for the gang to get back on its feet. He would wash his hands of it all and hand everything over to Junmo. G.I. Cheol had a new purpose in his life. He didn't want to live a life of fighting and death anymore. He just wanted to be an ordinary person, living with Yui Jong until they were old. G.I. Cheol was lost in love and wanted to do some serious work. He took Yui Jong to a real estate investment meeting. Junmo was also taken along. Who knew that the policeman would approach G.I. Cheol again and also see Yui Jong's face? Junmo was worried that the policeman would investigate Yui Jong further, so he called Do Hyun to remind him about this. After the real estate investment session ended, G.I. Cheol took Yui Jong out to dinner with Junmo and the businesswoman. He introduced Yui Jong to the businesswoman as Junmo's girlfriend. The businesswoman wasn't used to this kind of meeting, so she left with Junmo. They talked as they walked. The businesswoman had been involved in the underworld for a long time, so she seemed strong. In reality, the person inside her was completely different. She dreamed of going to university in Korea and having a successful career. She wanted to date the man she loved. On the way, there was a fruit vendor. The businesswoman loved apples. Recalling their first meeting, G.I. Cheol had given her a watch. It meant that she would die when it stopped, so she didn't like it at all. The businesswoman took a bite of the apple that Junmo had given her and thanked him for paying for it. The two returned to the hotel room. The businesswoman took the initiative to kiss Junmo. Junmo found excuses to avoid close contact. He wanted to have a long-term relationship with the businesswoman, so they were better off keeping their distance. The businesswoman noticed that Junmo seemed distracted whenever he was with her, as if he was thinking about someone else. The businesswoman was curious whether Junmo had feelings for her. After all, she liked Junmo very much. Junmo said that he was bad at expressing his feelings. For the next deal, the close subordinates taught Junmo and the hitman how to transport goods. Half of the money earned went to the company. The rest was divided equally among the four of them. This time, G.I. Cheol and the close subordinates only took 3 shares. Junmo and the hitman each took 2 shares. G.I. Cheol ordered the hitman to get rid of the policeman who was always hanging around him. G.I. Cheol was like a god who haunted the policeman. He followed everything related to G.I. Cheol. When he discovered that someone was dealing drugs, the policeman followed and found Junmo's father. Junmo's father wasn't scared at all. He bluntly said that his son and daughter-in-law were police officers. The policeman didn't believe him, so he continued to investigate. That could threaten the safety of Junmo and Yui Jong. Since receiving the reminder from Junmo last time, Do Hyun's side had sent people to monitor the policeman. He quickly learned that he had caught Junmo's father. Do Hyun felt that things were getting worse. He went to see Junmo's father. He hoped that he wouldn't encounter the policeman again and wouldn't mention Junmo and Yui Jong. After saying that, Do Hyun gave Junmo's father some money, hoping that he would cooperate. The policeman, as usual, came to bother G.I. Cheol again. He had been investigating the death of the man by the beach and had found a lead. The results showed that the hitman was involved in the case, so he came to bring him back to the police station. Everyone was worried that the hitman would reveal the people who were present at the time. G.I. Cheol bribed the police to deliver a message to the hitman. He was instructed to exercise his right to remain silent. G.I. Cheol would hire the best lawyer in the country to rescue him. The hitman obediently did as he was told. The policeman couldn't help it. He could only vent his anger. G.I. Cheol's side planned to get more goods from the businesswoman to make more money. Junmo explained the situation to the businesswoman and wanted to increase the amount of goods. He promised that he wouldn't let her get into any danger. On the day of the deal, G.I. Cheol took his brothers to the port. G.I. Cheol and Junmo went out to sea by boat. When they arrived at the designated location, they waited to receive the full 30 kilograms of goods that were being delivered before the boatmen left. Junmo took the opportunity to write down the name of the ship. When they returned to the port, Junmo pretended to go to the bathroom. He secretly wrote the ship's name on the bag that had been delivered and put it in the toilet lid. Then he drove to another port to meet the Japanese. On the way, G.I. Cheol praised Junmo for his courage and resourcefulness. That was why G.I. Cheol was willing to hand over the business to him. Junmo thanked G.I. Cheol for trusting him. At this moment, a truck suddenly rushed to the front of their car, causing them to crash into the side of the road, knocking them unconscious. The truck driver went to Junmo's car and took all the goods. G.I. Cheol tried to call out to Junmo, who was unconscious, and tried to pull him out of the car. As soon as they left, an explosion occurred in the car. The close subordinate appeared in time to take them away. As soon as they got into the car, G.I. Cheol was furious. He knew that the chubby guy was the one who had robbed them. Only the three of them knew this route. Junmo, despite his injuries, suggested they return to the office and gather everyone to look for the chubby guy. As soon as they returned to the office, G.I. Cheol gave Junmo a list of the drug dealers who had bought from him. G.I. Cheol wanted Junmo to use every means necessary to force the people on the list to reveal if they had been in contact with the chubby guy recently. After Junmo left, G.I. Cheol opened the safe and discovered that the money he had prepared for the businesswoman had been taken by the chubby guy. G.I. Cheol was extremely angry, but he suppressed his anger and called the Japanese to apologize. He vowed to retrieve the goods and compensate for the losses. The Japanese gave G.I. Cheol a week to investigate. Recently, there had been a string of bad incidents, which made the close subordinate advise G.I. Cheol to be cautious and discreet. But at this moment, G.I. Cheol was extremely angry. He didn't want to care about that. He just wanted to get his money and goods back. The policeman unexpectedly found members of the second and command leader's gang and asked them about the fight between the two gangs a few days ago and who the woman next to G.I. Cheol was. The other side heard that the woman might be from the Seoul National Police Agency. The policeman was confused. Why would a police officer be associating with gangsters? He went to the police station and asked everyone with Yui Jung's picture. Yui Jung's colleague recognized the picture. He told the policeman that Yui Jung was the daughter of the former chief of staff and that her husband was also a police officer. The policeman used his connections to ask around. In the end, he found out Junmo's name and the police station where he worked. He went to the police station to find Junmo. Junmo's colleague said that Junmo had been sick for a long time and hadn't returned to the police station. The policeman then investigated Junmo. The hitman was released from the police station. He was very angry because there had been so many bad things happening in the gang lately. As soon as he heard this, the driver suddenly thought about something that had happened before. G.I. Cheol had instructed him to go to the Retired Police Association to investigate the case. He immediately handed over the files to the hitman. After the hitman saw the files, he told the driver to go back to the police station. As soon as they arrived at the police station, they saw Do Hyun come to find the policeman. The hitman held the files to compare and mistakenly thought that Do Hyun was Yu Jung's husband. As he wondered why the other side was contacting the policeman, the driver suddenly remembered that when he went to the association to get the information, he had also seen this person in the association. The hitman frowned. He felt something was wrong. He immediately returned to the association and threatened the staff there. He demanded that she reveal everything and called Do Hyun over, pretending that he needed to talk to him. Do Hyun thought that the gangster gang had a new move, so he hurried to the association. Do Hyun arrived at the association and saw that the room was empty. As he suspected that he had fallen into a trap, the hitman suddenly appeared and pulled out a knife. The hitman contacted Junmo and asked him to come to the association. He said he had caught a police officer following them. Junmo felt something was wrong and hurriedly drove to the association. He saw Do Hyun tied to a chair, covered in blood. The hitman suddenly appeared and handed Junmo the file information. He believed that Yui Jung's couple was plotting to arrest them. That was why he started with Yi Jung's husband first. But the hitman didn't expect that the name written on the police badge of Yi Jung's husband was Do Hyun. Why was he pretending to be Junmo and asking Junmo if he knew what was going on? Because Junmo was also always in contact with Yui Jung. So the hitman suspected that he was the traitor inside. He pointed his gun at Junmo. Junmo shook his head in denial. The hitman ordered him to take care of Do Hyun to prove his innocence. Seeing that Junmo was reluctant, the hitman fired a shot at Do Hyun. Seeing Do Hyun fall to the ground, Junmo erupted with emotion and pounced on the hitman. The two of them fought. The hitman also confirmed that Junmo was the traitor inside. Luckily, the police arrived in time to arrest the hitman and take him away. Junmo hurriedly took Do Hyun to the hospital. Do Hyun reminded him not to forget that he was a police officer. Don't forget your roots. Junmo waited outside the operating room and received a call from Wee Jung. He learned that G.I. Cheol was in trouble. It turned out that G.I. Cheol had been betrayed by two of his close subordinates. The chubby guy, who had been missing for a long time, had returned to the organization. He was dissatisfied with G.I. Cheol's decision to abandon his brothers and clean up his act to live a normal life. The chubby guy asked G.I. Cheol if he knew the names of the brothers who had stood by him through thick and thin. Seeing G.I. Cheol remain silent, the chubby guy immediately recited the names of each of the brothers, their dreams and family circumstances. The close subordinate persuaded G.I. Cheol to put down the gun in his hand. It was time for him to give up being the leader. At this moment, the policeman came to arrest G.I. Cheol for aiding and abetting murder and illegal possession of weapons. The policeman arrived just at that moment because he had been bribed by the two close subordinates. Before the two subordinates planned to steal the drugs from G.I. Cheol, they had realized that the policeman wasn't a good person. So they wanted to team up with the policeman to deal with G.I. Cheol, help them escape from G.I. Cheol, and let him stay in jail until he turned green. The two would also provide evidence of G.I. Cheol's crimes and pay the policeman a large sum of money. The chubby guy was very respectful to the police. He asked him to take care of himself. Then G.I. Cheol was taken away in a police car. Yui Zhang happened to see this. She followed the policeman's car and informed the chief prosecutor about everything. Junmo couldn't let G.I. Cheol be arrested. He drove his car into the policeman's car. Then he quickly took G.I. Cheol to safety. After that, Junmo secretly contacted the chief prosecutor and asked about Du Haiyun's situation. The chief prosecutor lied that Du Haiyun was recovering, but in reality, the doctor had just announced that Du Haiyun couldn't survive. White powder was found in the policeman's car. It seemed that he had colluded with the chubby guy to steal the goods. The chief prosecutor had sent his subordinates to secretly arrest the drug dealers who were cooperating with the two close subordinates. Without buyers, the two subordinates could only cooperate with the businesswoman and the Japanese side. At that moment, the police would execute their plan. Sure enough, the buyers disappeared. The two close subordinates were as anxious as ants on a hot pan. The chief prosecutor's plan was very well thought out, but there was one unstable factor: the policeman. He was taken to the hospital after the car accident and told his subordinate that he was hunting down G.I. Cheol and his brother Junmo. Speaking of Junmo, the policeman didn't feel unfamiliar. It was clear that he was the one next to G.I. Cheol. That was also why Junmo's name was recorded by the police. However, the police couldn't find any information related to Junmo. The policeman noticed something unusual and went to ask the two close subordinates. The two of them immediately said that G.I. Cheol's girlfriend was a police officer. She and Junmo had known each other since they were kids. The policeman lost his temper. Such important information hadn't been reported to him. The chubby guy immediately came up with an idea to arrest G.I. Cheol and Junmo. That was to follow Yui Zhang and the businesswoman. The policeman accepted the money and was willing to help them. The two close subordinates invited the businesswoman to meet and wanted to continue trading with her. The businesswoman didn't say much. She hoped they would do everything well. First, apologize to the Japanese side, and then complete the transaction smoothly. The chubby guy was full of confidence. Now that G.I. Cheol was no longer there to obstruct the deal, it would be carried out safely and without any obstacles. At the end of the conversation, the businesswoman called Junmo and told him the trading location for the next day. Junmo had long calculated that the two of them would contact the businesswoman directly. So he flirted with the businesswoman and told her to take his side. After learning the location, Junmo informed the chief prosecutor of the trading location and time. G.I. Cheol, on the other hand, had plans to steal the money that the chubby guy had taken from him. Unexpectedly, the policeman appeared to cause trouble. After investigating, he discovered Junmo's true identity. The policeman went to the room where the businesswoman was staying and gave her a news report about Yui Zhang and Junmo. He also clarified the husband-wife relationship between the two. The policeman wanted to know where Junmo and G.I. Cheol were hiding. At this moment, the businesswoman's heart was in turmoil. She was wondering whether to tell him. The businesswoman called Junmo to check if he had genuine feelings for her. Junmo didn't answer for a long time, but he gave the businesswoman advice. He told her not to return to China and not to stay in Korea. The best thing was to go live in Hong Kong and keep a low profile for a while. Junmo's sincere answer gave the businesswoman an answer in her heart. She chose to kill the policeman. At that moment, the police burst into the room. The bodyguard was very loyal to the businesswoman. He was willing to distract the police so that the businesswoman could escape. As he finished speaking, the bodyguard opened the door and rushed out of the room. The police saw that the policeman was dead in the room and hurriedly chased after the bodyguard. The businesswoman also took this opportunity to quickly leave the hotel and, following Junmo's advice, went to Hong Kong. On the other side, Junmo and G.I. Cheol arrived at the trading location of the two close subordinates and the Japanese. When G.I. Cheol was about to go out to get his money back, Junmo took out a gun and pointed it at G.I. Cheol. Then he handcuffed him to the car, not forgetting to tell G.I. Cheol, "I hope you'll pay the price for the wrong things you've done." But he left the handcuff key in the driver's seat before leaving. He didn't even take the car key. Junmo appeared in front of the close subordinates who were gleefully celebrating their successful transaction and receiving a large sum of money. Seeing Junmo, the chubby guy pulled out a knife to deal with him. At that moment, police cars swarmed in and surrounded the entire group involved in the drug trade. It was only then that the close subordinates realized that Junmo was an undercover police officer. G.I. Cheol also took the opportunity to drive away. In this operation, the police achieved a major victory, capturing G.I. Cheol's entire stronghold. At the same time, they cooperated with the police of other countries to capture the white powder production facility in the businesswoman's hometown. The entire organization of the Japanese boss was also rounded up. Jun-mo finally ended his secret life. The couple stood in front of Do-hyun's grave, their hearts heavy. Could they return to their previous lives? When the couple returned home, they found Ji-cheol sitting at the dining table. He looked at the picture of her with Jun-mo and saw the couple return home together. Ji-cheol's heart felt as if it were pierced by thousands of knives. He pulled out his gun. Facing Jun-mo, Ji-cheol finally understood that Yui-jung had deliberately approached him to investigate. His sincerity had been betrayed by this couple. Yui-jung persuaded him to put down the gun. Don't make the same mistake over and over again. At this moment, Ji-cheol was filled with anger. He cursed the couple, saying they would never be happy. Seeing Ji-cheol raise the gun to his temple, Jun-mo immediately acted first. Yui-jung rushed towards Ji-cheol. Jun-mo called the police station to report that Ji-cheol had been arrested. Jun-mo's voice was choked. He still wore the gold watch symbolizing his brotherhood with Ji-cheol on his wrist. The case was over. Both Jun-mo, Yui-jung, and Do-hyun, who died while on duty, were commended. Jun-mo's expression was solemn. He stood in front of Ji-cheol's grave and left Yui-jung's wedding ring there. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch more great movies. Goodbye and see you again.